Okay. Anything you want to say, Kevin?
Yes, I just wanted to tell my students and anybody else there that I'm amazed by how successful you are with them, getting my students into good schools, even if their GMAT score is not stellar. And that's a testament to your hard work and your expertise.
Yeah, both, yeah. And the network that we have with the school as well. And
Right.
so recently we've been able to have 2 students who had very low GMAT get IAC, Gabriel and, okay, they're still on the wait list, but we're optimistic. Their GMAT was far from being stellar. And still, because we also have the contact, so we can talk to schools. So for instance, to give you an idea, yesterday, I had 2 students who got in SEAD. They received the information 1 week before because I asked them to give the information 1 week before because they also have been accepted to London Business School. So one is a student from Canada, by the way, and the other one is from where? Is from Italy, okay? And they got accepted, and because they're MBA Center students, they got 10,000 euro scholarship, which is not bad. So
right,
it pays, so they were so happy. And this year at INSEAD, all my students for the MIM, they got 10,000 euro scholarship because they know that I know that they got scholarship, okay? And they feel that they have to give scholarship to every MBA Center students now because they talk to each other, okay? Alors, basically, how many people have we got today? Alors, basically, I was supposed to come early this week, but I was supposed to organize a lunch with IAC, and the lady, Carmen, is on maternity leave. It was earlier than expected. And then I was supposed to organize an annual meeting with the 30 students who have been accepted. We're going to organize a dinner at a restaurant. And none of them could, because some are already in the US, some are not in Madrid, so I decided to postpone. So I will come later on. Okay? Now, basically, if we start, so how many students are there? So there is, who is there? So there's Antoine that I don't know, there's Bruno, there's Xavier, there's Jose, there is Mariana, Samrat is with us again, and there is Shkriti with IS, who is also from India. Alors, basically, so a lot of the students that we have today, Aryan, are from for MBAs probably, okay? But what we need to tell them is important. And anyway, you know equally MBA and MPAs and MIM.
Of course, yeah.
And also what is very interesting with Aryan, so Aryan has decided to replace Alvaro, because Alvaro could not, is that he has applied both to European and US programs, okay? And he has taken the GMAT. He did pretty well because he got 710. And then he wanted to have a better score, so he took the GRE. So that's something that you also have to consider, that you can start with Europe, then you can go to the US, you can start with the GMAT, and you can take the GRE if anything happens. Okay? Well, alors, basically, so Aryan, can you introduce yourself?
So hi, folks. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm joining. I mean, I was on my way to meet a couple of students only because you know, apart from being Hubert's student, I also work with him. So
Okay.
I was going to meet a couple of students. So I had to join. You know, I'm still in my car. So I'll talk a bit. I'll talk a bit about myself. So my name is Aryan. I'm around I'm around 21, 22. I cannot recall exactly how old am I. So I went to one of the best business schools at the undergraduate level in India. So I did my bachelor's. From St. Xavier's College in Bombay. And throughout my undergrad, I remained. Throughout my undergrad, I was, you know, the university topper. To go with it, I always, I always wanted to study abroad, and I always wanted to work as an investment banker at bulge bracket banks. So, for that, I obviously wanted to, have the right kind of opportunity, and MBA Center has given me that opportunity because I made it to schools like HEC, LBS. It's a funny story that I had to let go of HEC Paris's interview. Like not many folks do this, but yes, I actually had to let go of my HEC Paris interview. But yeah, it is what it is.
It was a long story. It was a long story.
Yeah, it's a very long story. It's a very long story.
Basically, what is interesting with Aryan is that we started to work before applying because I got him and he got a scholarship, by the way, for the HEC summer school. Okay. Alors, all that to tell you, for the people who are here with us, that you work on your MBA long before. Huh? So you don't start to work on the MBA or on the MIM 3 months before applying. It's a very long process. First, because the GMAT takes time, okay, and second of all, because you have to consider that you have two things when you apply. You have your performance, okay, the GMAT, the essays, the interview, the video interviews as well, and then you have your background, okay. And sometimes if you apply, I don't know if you apply, for instance, next year, you can still improve the background, okay. You can be more international. You can be a member of more and you can be a member of NGOs to exhibit the leadership. You can maybe take other responsibilities at work. So there are many things that you can improve, basically to improve the background, I would say the profile, okay? And then the second step, that's why you came to Kevin, is you have to improve the GMAT, okay? Of course, the GMAT is key, it's the most important thing in the application, okay? But at the same time, the background has to be improved. So what we discussed with Aryan, we saw that he was not international enough, and he decided to do the HEC summer camp. Okay, but unfortunately, it was at home because of the COVID. It was last year, so you did the HEC summer camp from Jamshedpur in India, and not at HEC itself. You agree? Huh?
Yeah. But then I would like to point out one thing here that when it comes to a school like HEC, whether the summer school is online or offline, it is as effective as an offline school, because you will have guest lecturers who are industry stalwarts. Like for example, I did not know anything about investment banking or corporate finance, and I ended up emerging as the topper of that program. So it just goes to show that a rookie who couldn't understand what investment banking was all about ended up as the highest scorer of that program. So you all can get the idea of how well they plan and structure their classes. We had CEOs and CFOs of companies coming joining our meetings and interacting with us. So it was a great learning experience, and I think it becomes really important for Indian students, be it master's students or be it MBA students or be it anything, to have that bit of international exposure. I was lucky enough to travel to England during school, because I was a professional cricket player before sort of transitioning into investment banking and business schools. I used to be a professional cricket player, and I used to play cricket in England. So that helped me, and along with it, my stint at HEC has really helped me become what I am today. I mean, I would have never imagined getting into ESEC, HEC, LBS together. It's a dream for every student, I believe, and it actually happened. So many folks say that international exposure and stuffs like summer schooling and volunteer abroad programs are not useful, but whenever I talk about these universities, they look for something different in your profile, because every other student has marks on his profile. Every other student applying from India is an IITian or is from some top business school like Xavier's or SRCC, right? So it becomes really important to have that thing on your profile which wouldn't be which isn't actually there on somebody else's profile. So that's where international exposure
that's very important. Alors, basically, for the people who are there, so I know for Antoine, for Xavier, who are new here, okay, Mariana, so you have to see that you have to understand how schools select students. Huh? You have to see that the first criteria that they take into account is the grades, the degree, the grades, and the GMAT. So basically, your intellectual and academic skills, which is normal. And you're applying for an MBA, for a master's, you're applying for a top school. The second thing that they will take into account is basically the rationale of your career. So how what you have done, exhibit strong professional skills, and how it is in line with the project. Okay, so the career focus is important. Okay, then the international exposure. Okay, the languages, the time that you have spent abroad. So of course, for Indian students, it's an issue because it's not that they are not international. It's that basically, if you know the geography of India, where can you go? Pakistan is difficult. Nepal, okay, not easy. Sri Lanka is for vacation. So it's not like me, I live in Belgium, okay? When I take the train in 1 hour, I'm in Lille. in 1 hour and a half, I'm in London, and in 3 hours, I'm in Luxembourg and Germany. So at the same time, we live in small countries, so it's very easy for us to be international because first, our countries, the European community allows that through Erasmus programs, so many things. When India is surrounded by countries that are somehow hostile, if you know the relationship between India and Pakistan. So you don't have many opportunities. Huh? And that's why they have to do summer camps. And then, of course, leadership is very important. Okay. Basically, it's your time the time that you're going to it's your ability to influence others, to do things, to make a difference. Okay. And finally, the right fit with the school. Okay. The school, they also want people who are bright, but they also want to find people who are going to fit with the school. Huh? Okay. Aryan, it's also very important. That's why they are looking for some type of profile. They are looking for diversity. At the same time, they are looking also for people who fit to the program. If you, for instance, a nerd, you don't communicate very well, you may have very good grades, but they will probably not take you because they don't want people who are nerds and who have low soft skills. Huh? You agree, Aryan? Okay?
Absolutely.
Alors, people may have questions. Antoine Bancon. Antoine, what are the questions that you have for us, Antoine? Antoine?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you very much for this introduction. Well, I'm not planning on doing an MBA. I'm just planning on doing a master in finance.
Yeah.
And
that's great. Yeah.
That's what he did. Huh? So Aryan, he got accepted to HEC and LBS Master in Finance. Huh?
Exactly. So this is exactly the school I want to go to. My question is, well, I studied business school, a good business school in Spain, but I feel like I lack a lot of mathematical skills, and I'm a little bit worried about that because, of course, for the GMAT is very important. And I don't know, do you have any suggestions or any things that could help me to better my mathematical knowledge apart from?
So what would you say, Aryan? Yes, what would you say?
First, I would like to know about what you are currently studying and how much mathematics is there in your syllabus. If you could just let.
Yes, of course. I'm a graduate. I'm currently working in finance in mergers and acquisitions. So I'm kind of good with numbers, but not very theoretical.
What did you study? ICAD? AI? What do you say?
Yes,
ICAD is a very good school. Huh? It's very renowned. And from experience, I never had any student who is an ICAD graduate who has problems in an MBA. Of course, if you wanted to study quantitative finance or whatever, financial engineering, it will be an issue, and they prefer engineers. But for what you want to do, it's more than enough.
Okay.
Huh? Okay, so don't worry.
And you know, courses like financial engineering and quantitative finance are mainly not taught in the in Europe. It's mainly taught in the US, and I believe you wanna study at HEC or LBS or HEC Paris. So I don't think it's gonna be a problem for you.
Okay.
So don't worry. They recruit people like you. Yeah. Sorry.
But then you should start. You know, preparing for the GMAT because HEC Paris, their average score, like their cutoff score for the MFin is 710 on the GMAT, and for MIM it is 700. Yeah, and especially they look at the quant section. So I scored 50 on quants, on 51. So you know you should target a score like 49, 50 or 51 on the quant section, and also the integrated reasoning also becomes really important here because you know, people who want to study finance, schools also look at their IR scores. So it's on 8. So try getting a 6 at least. I got a 7. Try getting a 6 at least.
Okay.
You understand, Antoine?
Yeah.
So it's very important. So basically, in terms of MIF, what do we recommend? So as you know, the French are good in that. So we recommend HEC ESSEC in France. We recommend, of course, LBS, Oxford, Cambridge. And more, it's Antoine. So last year, I had one student from Spain accepted to MIT Sloan. So we also recommend MIT Sloan. Okay. Yeah. And we love this program because it's a STEM program. So it means that after the master, you can stay 3 years after graduation.
Exactly. Yeah, I've seen it.
And that's something that we do. And we had six students who got accepted. So you see, me, I prepare students for the MIT interview because in the MIT interview, you have a motivation interview, you have a computer science interview, and you have a math interview. So for this one, we need to work on it like for 2 weeks, because you have some calculus, function, etc., trigonometry that you have to work on, and it's not the level of what you have done. But if you want to go to MIT, you might, even before, we'll have to start. We'll give you things to review, because you need to have some knowledge in R, in programming, and also in mathematics.
Okay.
But most of the students that we have a lot from IE. So, for instance, this year we got 2 from ICADE accepted to the Deferred MBA. One got Wharton, Columbia, MIT, and the other one got Columbia.
Okay.
So they do pretty well. Okay, but we know they are not mathematicians. It's obvious that they are not mathematicians. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's for you, Antoine. So basically, Aryan, we are in a GMAT class now, because the students who have come today, you see Aryan, they are Kevin students. Okay, so they take the GMAT. Okay. So just Aryan, for you to know. So and Kevin is our partner, so we manage his GMAT student. So Antoine, I hope that you have replied to your question. Then there is Xavier. Xavier, you have a question for us, Xavier? Xavier?
Hello. Yes. Well, I'm planning to apply for MBA, probably at ESA in Barcelona. And my biggest concern, I think, it would be if I have enough professional experience, because I've seen that they all look like for 5 years at least. And currently, this is my 3rd year, and I'm planning to apply on September. So I don't know.
So September 2023, you mean?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah. No, you have more than enough experience. I have students who have students applying to IEC this year. They're between 3 to 5 years of work experience. Okay, so it's pretty good, and get me a good GMAT. Okay. Anyway, I have the thing that IEC is hungry for Spanish students.
Okay.
They need more Spanish students. So, and what do you work now, Javier? In which company are you working?
I'm working at PwC, the strategy and area.
Yeah, for instance, I'm going to give you an example. It's one of Kevin's students. So, for instance, to give you an idea, last June, we got 6 students from Kevin accepted to top MBAs and masters. We got Gabriel, who got IAC, Juan, who got IAC, Aquino, who got MIT, Wharton, Columbia, Carmen, who got Columbia, Nuria, who got HEC, IAC, LBS, and INSEAD, and Nacho, who got IAC, LBS, and INSEAD. Okay, and their GMAT score was between 650 to 730. Okay, so I give you the example of 3 students here. His name is Carlos Bodrato. He gave a seminar. If you go on the YouTube channel, you will see him. And he was working for Accenture, which is roughly the same. So he was a QNF student. His GMAT was, I think, 680. Okay, and he got IAC, and I think that he had 3 years and a half work experience. So if you go, you see my screen, Carlos Bodrato, Gutierrez. You see my screen, or you don't see my screen? You see it?
No, I don't.
No. So we need to share with you. So if I share with you the entire screen, so how much work experience did he have before? So he's now at INSEAD. So he'll finish INSEAD in 5 months. I don't know, probably. And if you have a look at it, he had 6 years, but he could have applied with less. He could have applied with less. He had 6 years. So he graduated from QNF in 2015. And he started in INSEAD early 2022, but he could have started earlier than that. You see? So basically, so don't worry, 3 to 4 years, it's enough. Okay, so you need to apply at the time when you start. You need to have 3 years of work experience at the time you start. Okay, so you have more like 4 years, probably. Okay. Or you be among the youngest. Okay.
Okay.
So now. Let's have Javier. Mariana, you're from Spain as well. So Mariana, you have a question for us, Mariana? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, not a question. Just I think on my side, I would like to apply to MBA, most likely in the US. I have a bit more, a little bit more years of experience. I have around 7,
Yeah.
8, but I would like to start on September 2023. So
Yeah.
to not have like
Yeah.
years. So yeah, so mainly the US and mainly the schools that you have mentioned that other people have. I think the main one, Columbia, probably MIT, Wharton. Those are like I would like to apply to those.
Okay.
So yeah, like I currently
would advise you, when first get a good GMAT for sure. No? Okay, for this school, because American schools, you see, for instance, someone like Nacho, he got IAC LBS instead with a 650. He will not get Wharton, Harvard, and MIT with a 650. Okay, so you need at least 720. And then the rest has to be very good. Now, of course, the criteria to get into a top European school are very simple. Okay, in America, they take into account many other things. Okay, so you have to be very careful. That's why you have to apply to more schools, for instance. Okay.
Yeah.
And where do you work now? In which company do you work, Mariana?
I work in finance as a controller in AXA, the insurance.
Okay. Yes, of course. So it makes sense to apply to Columbia, Wharton, NYU, Chicago, the top finance schools. Okay. Yeah. And probably also consider LBS. Okay.
Yeah.
As a backup, consider LBS. So now we have other students who are with us. So there is, for instance, so let's ask Guillaume. So Guillaume is a student from Paris. Guillaume, you have a question for Aryan because you're in the same situation as him, roughly. So Guillaume.
Hey, yeah. Just first of all, thank you, Aryan, for taking some of your time. Have you applied to the MBA program, or the MIM program? I didn't get this.
So I had
the MIM.
My applications were a mix of everything. So I applied to Deferred MBA programs. I applied to MFINs and MIMs as well.
And so you could have applied. So you could apply to 3 programs at the same time.
No. So I'll tell you how it works. So if you want to go for a Deferred MBA, that happens only in the US, and one school in Spain. It's called IEC. Yeah, they offer.
They accept Deferred MBA.
Yeah. Apart from that, all the applications for MIM and MIF were at schools like LBS, ESEC, HEC, and the likes. Yeah.
Okay, because an MBA and a MIM requires 2 profiles completely different, right?
No.
Yeah, absolutely.
No,
but basically what you have to see. So can you explain what
you apply for a Deferred MBA when you are in the final year of your graduate? It's not much of.
I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Yes.
So see, a Deferred MBA is different from a normal MBA, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So normal MBA, if you wish to apply to HBS or like a Wharton or a Columbia, you'll probably work for 3 to 4 years and then apply for the regular MBA. But when it comes to the Deferred MBA, it is an option for college students to apply for these programs during their final year of undergrad. That or your final year or the final year of your master's if you haven't worked after your bachelor's. So that is how it works.
So
when it comes to the profile,
it substitutes a MIM. It substitutes a MIM. The Deferred MBA.
Yeah, kind of.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just that if you are able to see how it works is that if you're somebody who doesn't want to spend for a master's and then go for an MBA, this is the idea. This could be the ideal program for you. During the final year of your undergrad, you can apply to this program. But then these programs are very, very competitive, especially when it comes to schools like Wharton, Columbia, and the likes.
Okay.
You understand? So basically today, someone with a senior undergrad students can apply for MIM, MIF, and also for Deferred MBA.
Definitely.
Yep.
Okay.
So we show you, for instance, this girl, Maud Gillot. I'll give you an example. For instance, Maud Gillot, this girl here. She is here. She studied at Maud Gillot. It's strange. Why is she? So she studied at ESCP, Maud Gillot. It's very strange. She stayed at GSCP, and then she did a Deferred MBA, and it took her like where's my thing? Wait, what do you know? Apparently that they are using mode is there only. Yeah, she's here. Okay. So for instance, I give you an example. She was my student. She went to Harvard. So what she did is that she had a very good GMAT. She took a lot of private tutoring, and she got 750, which is a good score. So basically, she did ESCP, National Management, and the last year, so in 2014, 2015, she applied for Harvard. Okay, and she only started in 2017. Now, Saint-Guillaume, but her GMAT, I don't know if she put her GMAT there, is 750. So GMAT 750, so it's a good score. And I guess with 8.5, not bad. You agree, Aryan? It's very good, huh?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's not bad. And now she's working in private equity for Euraseo. Before she was working for Aryan. So if you know private equity, it's very good companies. Huh? I'm sure that you have heard about this company, Euraseo and Aryan, but they are very famous. Huh?
So
sorry?
these students had applied
they were very bright students.
Harvard?
Yes, she applied to Harvard, but they were very bright students. She was the top student at ASCP. She went to the Grand École program, and then she had 750 GMAT.
So she went to Harvard after the Programme Grand École of ESCP?
Yeah. But Harvard is much better than ESCP. You know what you think?
Yeah, of course. But so as an MBA then.
Yeah. Okay. MBA. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Samart, you have a question for us, Samart? Samart, who is our student? Samrat, you have a student question for us? He was in my GMAT class this morning. Samrat? I don't know.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you
Go
hear
ahead,
me,
Samrat. Yeah. You're from MBA, you. Samrat, you're from MBA. No?
Yeah, I am from MBA, right? Yeah. So
what is your
I just have a
question?
question to Aryan. So I was listening. So Aryan, you were you were an aspirant for this investment banking profiles and all. Yeah. So I mean, I just wanted to ask, which are the colleges you feel like have a better perspective for this investment banking jobs and all? So,
Look, it really depends on whether you want to do an MBA or an MPhil. Like, if you wish to, be amongst the top bankers at Wall Street, obviously you'll have to go to schools like, NYU. There is HBS, Wharton, Columbia. These are the schools you should be eyeing. But then, if you want to work in London, or let's say if you want to work HEC, ISEC, London Business School, these are the three schools that you should be targeting, and INSEAD as well. Yeah, for an MBA.
so INSEAD, London Business School, and HEC. Right?
ISEC, there is ISEC, there is HEC Paris. If you wish to work in London, or if you wish to work in Europe, because majority of these banks, majority of these banks have their offices in London, and for the London office, they recruit people from HEC and ISEC. Am I right, Dr. Hubert?
Yeah. That's the way they do. Okay. Yes.
That's the way it is.
So basically, did I ask a question to Xavier? Did you ask your question, Xavier? There was Xavier. Where is Xavier?
Yeah, he did.
He
We interacted.
Okay. So Samrat Shriti was there. She's probably a spy from GMAT. She was a spy from India, and when we ask them questions, they leave. Antoine, he asked Amrita, Aman, they all ask questions. So basically, Aryan, what is you got accepted to a very good school? So what is the secret for being a successful student, whether it be for MIM or for MBA, by the way? Okay, so what is the secret of success?
See, it's just that schools are tired of coming across profiles that are nothing but just about people scoring big, especially Indians. Because when it comes to us, I'm talking only about Indians here. When it comes to us, what happens is that we face immense competition from our own countrymen. We'll have IITians, we'll have people from top management schools applying, and the only thing that is common in their profile, and the reason why they get rejected, is because all they have is studies and nothing else apart from that. So just make sure that studies is not the only thing on your profile. It has to be a culmination of everything, right? There has to be a good mix of grades, and extracurricular activities, international exposure, like we mentioned, like we talked about at the very beginning of the meeting, is a must. If you're an Indian student and if you're eyeing like top a place at top business schools, international exposure is a must. So like I said a couple of seconds ago, it has to be a culmination of these 3-4 different kinds of things: good internships, good work experience at good companies, good amount of social work, because social work is something that they really value. So what I'm trying to say is that they want a very well-rounded profile. They are sick and tired of welcoming profiles that have got nothing apart from grades. So write, publish research papers. These are some of the things that you all should do. I mean, take part in MUNs if possible, international MUNs. There are a lot of MUNs happening remotely. Remotely, so you can take part in that. You can go to work in Africa for like 1 or 2 months. I mean, I have contacts. If you all want, I can really help you get those sorts of internships as well. So yeah, these are some of the things that you all should focus on, apart from a really strong GMAT score. A really strong GMAT or GRE score could be a deal maker or a deal breaker, because universities, they get like for 300 seats they get around 30,000 applications. So they are looking for reasons to reject a candidate. So a profile has to be such that the school cannot really reject your profile. So in order to have that profile, like I mentioned, it has to be a good mix of everything, and not just one thing. Sports as well plays a huge role. Like I mentioned, I was a professional county cricket player in England for 3 years. So that has helped me immensely. So these are some of the things that really matter. And yeah, that's
Well,
it from
at
my
the same
end.
time, Aryan, I'm not sure that cricket is something that helps you get HEC or LBS.
No, not really.
You
But
got the good
then
GMAT, good essays,
no.
you have internships, personality. Okay,
I
no,
think
but try
I
to
think it
stand
does
out, but
play.
there are things that are a bit useless. Huh? You see,
I
it's,
think it does play a part, because in my interview, like be it at LBS or at HEC, I didn't sit for the interview. They really liked this idea, about and I had mentioned everything on my CV about my cricketing experience in the past, and they did question me about that. So I think
yeah,
it
but
did
at the
play a
time,
part.
Aryan, maybe cricket is a
Maybe
big thing
not
in
to a
India, but tell you in
yeah.
France or in the US, it
I
doesn't mean
know
much.
that. I know that.
They don't notice
Maybe
sport.
maybe not to a great extent, but yes, to some extent it definitely helped me, because an Indian guy playing overseas in England, it's not
It's not
something that
common.
happens every day. Yeah.
But what you have to see, you have to stand out, but stand out on things that are really important. Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, how can you if you have to say I am who I am, what can I do that will help me increase my odds? Okay, easy things. Build your network at school for sure. If you know the admission officers, if you know alumni, etc., it's a big thing. The choice of the recommender. If you know a recommender with a graduate of the school you want to apply to, it's a plus. Yes, I attend many webinars to show that you have interest for the school. These type of things are easy, okay? And they bring a lot. They bring probably much more than you're a professional cricket player, huh? Much more. So your interest for the school, your network in the school, the quality of the recommenders, okay? And then of course after that you have the big things like the GMAT, DSS, but I would say easy things, okay? That allow you to, the fact that you have, for instance, someone who is very famous who recommends you is a big plus. It's a big plus. It helps. Huh? Okay. So you have to really, and if of course you get the stellar recommendation, it's even better. Okay. So do you have any question before we stop there? So do you have any question? Hello? Any question?
So
okay. So I would be happy to. So I will be in Madrid. I will be in Madrid on. Yeah, sorry, on 24, 25 of July, because it didn't make sense for me to come next week because there was not much going on. Yes, anyway, if someone has questions, someone raise his or her hand. Yeah? No? So Guillaume, basically, Antoine, Guillaume, Mariana, and Samrat. And anyway, we have your contact information. So I will ask Maria, who's in charge of the Spanish market, to contact you all so that we can meet pretty soon. Huh? Okay. Thank you very much, Aryan, for being with us. Huh? So don't forget, number 1, the GMAT, 2, the application, and then all these little things that can that can help you and that are important at the end. Okay. Well, have a good day, guys. And Aryan gave his profile. Have a good day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye bye.
I have given
Thank you.
profile and also my WhatsApp. So if you all have any questions, you all can contact me, right?
This is amazing. Thank you.
But these people are are many from Spain.
Pleasure
Huh,
talking to all. And I wish all of you, all the best for your GMAT and for your applications.
Thank you very much.
Have a good day. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day. Bye.